Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about setting up my 2025 weeks planner. If you watched my previous video about my 2025 journal lineup, you might already know that the two main journals I'll be using daily in 2025 are my A5 bullet journal for daily reflections and reviews, and this week's planner for to-dos and schedules. Both of them need to be properly set up before the new year to feel prepared and excited to start fresh. In this video, we'll focus on the setup for the week's planner. Before jumping into the 2025 setup, let's take a quick look back at my 2024 week's planner. For 2024, I used this Paperideas Weeks Undated softcover planner. I only started using this week's planner this year, so you notice that the earlier pages were a bit rough and experimental. Over time, I adjusted the layout to find what worked best for me. Since this planner is undated, the monthly and weekly layout alternate. For the monthly layouts in my 2024 weeks, I mostly use pencils for flexibility and I use it to schedule my social media contents. But in 2025, I'm thinking of using the monthly spreads properly and use them to track meals and drinks, which I'll explain more during the setup. Initially, I set up each weekly spread at the start of the week. Later, I found it more efficient to pre-plan and set up an entire month at once, similar to how I manage my bullet journal themes. This saves me time and keeps the style consistent. By September, I had settled on a layout I liked, and I realized that recoloring the frames make the page so much neater. Comparing to the previous pages where they were more open, this looks so much tidier. Now let's go over how I use my week's planner. I was asked so many times, but I realized that I never had a video that properly explained how I use it and the details and the meanings of each blocks. So here we go. Starting with the left side, I jot down daily tasks and events. Sometimes I split the block into 2, sometimes 3 sections. And there are 2 guide dots on each line printed here, so it's very easy. When I split it into 2, I write the more important tasks on the left and smaller tasks or chores or scheduled events like workouts or meeting friends on the right side. And if I divide it into 3, then I use it as morning, afternoon, and evenings. And usually morning and afternoon tasks are more important, so it's pretty much the same method. I find splitting the block into 2 sections work better for me because I have bigger space to write. I don't need to change lines. At the end of each day, if there's something interesting or there's a highlight, I'll also put it down with a thicker marker to highlight it. On the right hand side, I start with a mini time block here where I track all my time. I have been wanting to track my time properly for a while, and as I was flipping through my weeks, I realized that I also recorded how many hours I worked each day before. And I've also tried some apps on the phone, but I felt it was not that convenient, and also I could be easily distracted by the phone. So in the end, I decided to track my time in this little week's planner in this area here. And then I counted the numbers of the grades and it was just perfect. So I start my day from 7 a.m. in the morning and I write down all the 24 hours so I can also track my sleep here. And in regards to the types of time, I only have 5 categories, which is work and life. And life here refers to more about self-improvement, like workout or journaling or reading. And others here means general life tasks like chores, eating, driving, etc. And then I have a screen time here. I have it specifically because I want to track how much time I spend on my phone. But here it more means the pure leisure time because sometimes when you're working on your phone or you use your phone as your navman, it doesn't count towards this screen time. So I think the screen time function on your phone is not that accurate. I'd rather manually record it myself. And after using that for a while, I realized I do feel more conscious about my time. Like before, I might be scrolling on my phone for 2-3 hours without realizing it. But now when I want to relax, I have a look at the time and I might think like, oh, I was very productive today and I think it's time to relax. I can be on my phone just to relax for an hour or half an hour. And so I know when to stop. And I always choose a brighter color out of the 5 as a reminder of how much time I spent on my phone. And then after this, obviously sleep time, I also chose a lighter color out of the 5. And coming after the time block is where I track my productivity. This area got asked the most because I ran out of space, so I didn't put a title here. And how do you track your productivity? It's based on how well I accomplish my to-do list, my planned tasks today. And now I also track my screen time. I can also see how much time I spent on the phone. So that will be a factor as well now. And below the productivity rating is a small habit tracker for short-term goals or temporary habits. My main habit trackers are all in my bullet journal. The habits here are more smaller tasks or just as a reminder for myself. For example, I had a minor hip injury recently and I wanted to stretch my hip every day for a little bit, and after my hip is recovered, obviously I don't need it anymore. But in 2025, I'll move meditation to my bullet journal, and for the habits that are less important, I'll still keep them here in my weeks, such as tidy desks, unplug my laptop and stuff. Coming to the right side, I have tasks and chores. I think these are the most common blocks that everybody has. And below that, I have a mini book, music and movie list for the week. And then I have a color code at the bottom. And at the end of each week, I'll add some doodles or stickers to the blank areas. I like to fill the pages all up. The recent couple of months, my week's colors are aligning with my bullet journal. If you've seen my bullet journal setup videos before, you might already know that I have a monthly theme, and each week I draw it slightly differently within the same monthly theme. So I've been doing the same on my week's planner, giving each week a main color. So the 4 or 5 weeks of the month will have different colors, and that's why I have to write down which pens I use which week. So this is the week's layout I've been pretty happy with recently, and I'll be continuing using it for a while. As time goes, I'm sure I'll have new ideas, especially when I get new stationeries, but I'm pretty happy with it for now. And hopefully you've got some inspiration from my video as well. As to the book selection, I was thinking about getting an Undated weeks as well for this year, but Paperideas has released this linen cover and it only has a dated version. I love it so much, so I decided to go with it. I also bought this clear cover for my 2025 weeks, and it's very soft and very easy to put on. And before we start, let's have a quick flip through and see what it looks like inside the books. So you have the cover page, the content page, and then for the dated book, you have 3 yearly calendars, 2024, 2025, and 26. And for the undated book, you have 2 yearly calendars where you can put the year and the dates of the week yourself. And then you have a year vision page for your work or study, your personal, your finance, etc. These 2 books are the same except for the color. And then you have a yearly plan. It's very similar to the future log in bullet journal, so I'm gonna use this book and I won't put a future log in my bullet journal again. And I'll write down the important dates here, like friends or families, birthdays, and some other things that's happening yearly, like going to the dentist and taking my cat to the vet and stuff like that. And after this, our monthly and weekly layouts start. As you can see, the dated weeks has pure white pages, which I like better actually. And I didn't use my monthly calendar much last year, but I'm planning to track my food and beverage here, especially how many cups of coffees I have each day. There's to-do list on the left for both book. I think it's very handy for monthly plans. And at the bottom, there's actually some habit tracker areas, but as my habit trackers are mainly in my bullet journal and I have some mini ones in my weeklies, so I might not use this area. I might just write some quotes or some highlights of the month here. In the undated weeks, you don't have this section here, but as a background of the monthly calendar is all great, you can easily DIY your habit tracker here as well. The monthly and weekly pages rotate, which is also what I like about the Paperideas weeks. It's very easy to find the page you want. And in the dated one, there's also week number and how many days of the year has passed and left. At the end of the book, we have my 100 here. I'm gonna write down the little things I want to do as a wish list. I didn't use this page last year in 2024 and I think I just wasted it. The dated weeks has spread my 100 into 4 pages, whereas the undated one have them in 1 page. So there's more writing space in the dated planner. And then we have my favorites. Again, I wasted these pages last year, and in 2025 I'm gonna put the movies I watched here. And then we have a world map and travel footprint page here. And after this is a year in review, which corresponds to the year vision in the beginning of the planner. And at the very last are some plain gray pages. And for the hardcover weeks, there's a pocket, and the soft-covered ones won't have them. And now I've got my journaling materials ready here. Let's start setting it up. Since I've got the PVC cover for it, I'm gonna also do some decorations on top of that. Alright, my 2025 weekly planner is pretty much set up. For my 100 wish list, I'll leave it here for now, and as time goes, I'll add some more to it for sure. Let's have a quick flip through. It's mainly the decoration of the cover. I haven't added too much colors inside because I want my weeks to align with my bullet journal themes, and I haven't done anything for my 2025 monthly themes. Oh, and speaking of which, my 2025 bullet journal setup is coming soon, so please subscribe and stay tuned. Thank you so much for spending the time with me today. Happy journaling, everyone! Bye!